Greg Opie Hughes. I hate having to bring this guy up. If he's saying certain things and doing things so that I talk about him, then he's much more brilliant than I ever gave him credit for, because he says and does things that I just have to talk about. I have to talk about it. For the most part, I leave it alone, but sometimes he'll come up with a doozy, and I'm like, I got it. And it isn't even like I'm trying to convince people of something, or he said something and I got to set the record straight. No one's listening to him. It doesn't matter. I'm giving him more attention by talking about it than he could ever get by initially mentioning something. And, you know, I don't care. I see it on Twitter and whatnot, and it's kind of funny that people comment on it, and they send me the clips and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, because he blocked me. I can't follow the Opester on Twitter. So Opie was doing one of his shows. Here's what he does now. I guess people told him he's got to kick it up a notch. He can't just sit in front of an iPhone. Not even in front of it. He would just play the beach. He'd be at the beach or out his window, and he would talk and about just nothing. Just nothing. So people said, hey, Opester, why don't you do something? You know, kind of cobble a show together. Some fashion. I don't know. Think about it. You know? Have a format, a look, an outline, something. You know? We have this. Whenever I'm scrolling through Twitter or any social media, YouTube, I can see that it's this show as it's scrolling by. It has a certain look that people are familiar with. That's kind of a goal when you have a visual medium, is to make it familiar to the viewer. Every day it's out the window, it's a beach, he's fucking walking down the street, he's spinning, brother man. So I guess they told him that. So now his new thing, he's got some kind of an app, I guess, on his phone. Parrish thought he gets a camera and a good microphone. And he's able to now take other people's calls, you know, visually, like FaceTime, and pop them on the screen, one or two people, and he has a conversation with them. Now, these aren't anyone of any merit. These are fans of his. It's people just driving around because, you know, the Opester thinks out of the box, and that's what people want. You know, the phone call in a radio show has always been so good 100% of the time that you should base your entire show on just making it one big, long phone call from the viewers, right? It's brilliant, really. Not really. So he's doing that now. So he gets on, and I guess he was... His last episode was, I never knew Anthony. That was his last one. I never knew Anthony. And he just spouts off how, you know, I was a different person, that he never knew the real me. And I think about, like, well, I knew a lot of other people at the same time. I knew Opie when he thought he knew me. I knew a bunch of people. I have friends, family, working associates, all knew them. And then Opie apparently at some point reached this kind of epiphany that he never knew me. I showed him the other part of me. And he's like, oh, I never knew Anthony. Well, what about everyone else? Everyone else still was like, oh, yeah, that's Anthony. That's the same guy. It's just the same guy. I know that guy. But for Opie, somehow. And the truth of the matter is, look, I know exactly what happened. I got fired, which is fine. I know what happened. And Sirius XM, especially at the beginning. This was at the beginning of this whole woke fucking cancel thing. And, you know, they tossed me. The Opester was so excited about this. So excited to get his own show now without the anchor that I had been for so many years on the program. So when it came to actually pushing for the show or leaving, me, Opie, Jimmy, we go on and have faith and confidence enough in what we do to make something like this, but even bigger would have been, you know, the Opie and Anthony show. Jim Norton, huge thing. But Opie just was like, here's my time to shine. Fuck that guy. Fuck Anthony. Yeah. I was having, him with his races. Oh, the politics, the this. Dude, you know, I just want to chill. Yeah, no, it's a good move. I know what he did when he was sitting in management. I've been in that room enough fucking times with him. See him sell out people like Steve. Yes, I'm going to go hang myself now. Yeah, exactly. Poor Steve. Poor Steve. I seen it. He would play management against his own staff in order to, like, ingratiate himself with management and hold something over the staff. I'd seen it happen numerous times. We had producers. We had, like, Travis. Travis is a producer now over there with Jim and Sam. He's been there for many years now. He does a great job. Everyone loves the wonderful Trav dog. And Travis was our kind of interim producer for a little while because, you know, Opie had deemed the guy before a piece of shit. That's just what happened. Opie would have to blame his own shortcomings on other people. So they would be the expendable people that had to go out the door. Steve was one of those that I had been in meetings. I'd been in the meeting, sitting with Opie and management across as he just shit-talked Steve and said he just wasn't the guy for the job after so many years. And that because, you know, Opie felt badly about what he was doing on the show. So, you know, obviously you can't blame yourself, so you just got to look around you. It's got to be someone else. And eventually it was me. I was the guy that, thank God, I got myself fired. Let's just get rid of him, and now's my chance. Now, like fucking Daffy, like Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. Remember when Bugs would just peek out the curtain and everyone's like, ah! And then Daffy looks out and the applause would just stop. And Daffy's like tap dancing all, and nobody says anything. Critic. It was fantastic. That's kind of how Opie felt. So he figured he had to, you know, drink the gasoline, kerosene, uranium-238, and drop a match down his mouth. I can only do it once. We've all seen it. It's a great cartoon. So Opie would badmouth people to management all the time, and I was eventually that guy. Although I had gotten myself fired, I won't ever say that he had anything to do with me being fired. I know he never went to bat for me. And knowing Opie and being in those meetings, he probably was like, yeah, it's time we all just move on from that whole thing. So that's kind of what happened. So he did this recent video now where he's doing things that are just O&A. He says I'm obsessed with him. He says Jimmy's obsessed with him. We never discuss Opie unless Opie does something stupid by discussing us. But then he'll be like, they're obsessed. They're obsessed with me. So like I said, the last video he did was I never knew Anthony. This one is I'm going to tell you something I never told anyone from the O&A show. Oh, okay. All right. He knows it's the only way to really get anyone to give a shit about what he's saying. And even at that point, they don't really give a fuck what he's talking about. So he gets on and he's doing this video and he starts talking about after I was fired, what Sirius was willing to do to help out and make the Opie show something special. So let's go to the words of Greg Opie Hughes and two
annoying
fucking fans.
Right. You know, Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of freaking vultures out there that exist on any kind of tragedy, as long as they can claim, oh yeah, this is a piece of it.
So Opie, 8% left. We're not letting you punch out. What's your big reveal with 8%?
I was
not letting you off the hook, brother.
Oh, you're too smart. I was hoping like this whole thing would just go dead. Yeah. So
well, we can push it till next Friday and try to drive the numbers. I could smash my computer. You know, we'll just break it.
It's not a bad idea. At the beginning of this, I said I will say something I've never said. A lot of these stories I've told over and over again, but I got plenty of things I've never told. Never.
Did I screw up? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. No. All right, I'll give you this part of it. So when Anthony got fired, you know, they really wanted me to continue with the co-host. They didn't think Jimmy could cut it.
Please, pause. Right there. They didn't think Jimmy could cut it. Oh, Jimmy, who's still over there hosting the show, name on the marquee, being paid by SiriusXM for years now, even years since you've been fired. That Jimmy, they didn't think he could. The Jimmy that's still there, even though other capable hosts have been fired over from SiriusXM. That Jimmy? They didn't think he was capable? Can you fucking believe that nonsense? Can you fucking believe? Now, here's the thing with Opie. I'm going to give you a little inside because I know him very well. I know the Opster and the way he thinks and everything. Not as much as Carl from Who Are These Podcasts. He seems to know Opie much better than I do. But let me tell you about Opie. He may not totally be lying here. He's delusional. Opie is a deluded person. He believes things after he works it through his head long enough. And again, I've seen this so many times. I've seen Opie tell a story to somebody, not even on the air where there might be some embellishment or something. I've seen Opie sit and tell people something that happened that I was at. I saw every single fucking thing that happened. And as he's telling the story, I'm like, that isn't fucking what happened at all. That never happened. One of the biggest stories, delusional stories Opie has, is that Dice and Howard Stern made fun of Opie's father after Opie's father was killed in a car wreck. Opie honestly, to this day, believes that Dice and Howard had made fun of that. First of all, find the recording. All these years, I've never been able to find it. No one's ever sent it to me. Opie's never said, here's the tape, let me play it. There is no audio of that moment because it didn't happen. Obviously, a tragic thing to happen. And you might mix things up with emotion or whatnot. And I know Opie hated Howard, and he wound up hating Dice for a little bit over that whole thing. And Dice is like, I never said that. But he insists that happened. He just does this. I've seen him do it 1,000 times. Oh, man, we went into, here's one he used to do all the time. Oh, man, so me and Anthony go into management, right? And we tell him we want to do this this thing, whatever. And Scott comes in screaming, you ain't fucking doing that. And I'm like, I was there. Scott came in and said, yeah, the lawyers really have a problem with this bit. We worked with them. There's just no way we can do this without a problem. And he's like, oh, they were yelling at us. It's like, no, they weren't. I sit there embarrassed. Like, why are you saying this? It's not even near the truth. But that's what Opie does. So I'm thinking with this, he's brought himself to believe that they wanted him to continue doing the show. And he made it up in his head that that's because they didn't think Jimmy could do the show by himself, and that's why they weren't going to bring in a new co-host, or they were going to bring in a co-host. I don't know what his actual psychosis is here, but he really thought that Sirius didn't want Jimmy to be the co-host. Jimmy was a third of the draw. There's Opie, Anthony, and Jimmy. That's a third of the draw that's coming in to the Opie and Anthony show with Jim Norton. Maybe even more, because at that point it was pretty much Anthony and Jimmy and, you know, a little bit of Opie here and there. So to say that Sirius would have gone, yeah, we just don't think Jimmy could be your co-host is ridiculous. It's true, by the way. It was absolutely true. I said there's no way these two last. There's no way without me literally sitting between them. That was literally and figuratively, I was in between them. That it wasn't going to work. I knew that. But Sirius never said that. Some more Greggy.
I think Jimmy could cut it. And that's the truth. Sorry, Jimmy. But it's the truth. That's what they told me.
Yep.
And they offered a comedian that definitely did the show a lot back in the day. $1 million to co-host a show with me after Anthony left.
And they said no?
And the comedian said no, because he was too scared of the backlash he would receive in the comedy community and from Anthony himself. He said no to $1 million.
Wow. All right, pause. Look at that fat dolt's face. It's like, wow. Wow.
That's Creamy Butters.
Fuck Creamy Butters in his face. Fuck him in his dumb, fat fuck face. Blow me, Creamy Butters. This looks like all he eats is Creamy Butters.
He always tweets like, what a great podcast for Opie Radio. And then it always just has one retweet. Opie never even favorites it.
No.
He just retweets it.
It's embarrassing. Creamy Butters indeed. Ugh. So this comedian is offered $1 million to do a show with Opie, which is the going rate for aggravation, I believe. And he says no because of the backlash from the comedy community. Now, why would the comedy community have any problem with someone going to do Opie's show? Now, I can understand, like, doing Anthony's show after all that happened. You know, damaged goods, racist Anthony, no one wants to do. I get that. There have been comics that still to this day won't do the show because of that nonsense. But why would the comedy community have any problem that a comic wants to take a gig on Sirius satellite radio with Opie for $1 million? That's incomprehensible nonsense. Secondly, that I would have a problem. First of all, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if I have a problem? Is what I'm saying. Who would care? Oh my God, Anthony's got such a problem. What kind of repercussions would you get because I have a problem? Secondly, this was before any shit was being talked. If you remember, after I got fired and fired this up for a while after, Opie and myself were having conversations on his show and on this show. He would fucking call in and we would do, have a little break together doing the show. So it was before any shit was being thrown back and forth. So why would this comic think if he took the job that there would be any shit? There wasn't any. There wasn't any shit talking for a while. It's such utter bullshit. And it is Breuer, by the way. That was offered a job. Now, the $1 million, the Jimmy thing, I think they wanted to bring him in with Jimmy, like kind of replace me and have that still, the and
he
trio.
was a former Sirius guy, too.
Yeah.
Breuer,
Breuer had been on Sirius, so, that. But I know, again, Breuer probably was just like, I ain't fucking doing a show with this guy. Like, he knows what a pain in the ass he is. And a backstabber and fucking, you know, sell you out to management in a second. Oh, Anthony, hey, you're here. You fucking asshole. Yeah, I walk in, it's 6:05. Hey, Anthony, what's up, traffic? It's like, you had to fucking say it on mic, so now I got to hear it from management. Just a fucking, what a douche. What a fucking douche. Cocksucker. Sorry, Club Soda Kenny wasn't knocking on my door at exactly the right time to literally drive me the 5 blocks to the radio station. Sorry, I'm sitting in fucking traffic on the LIE coming from Nassau County. Parking, all that shit. And then I get up there and, yeah, Club Soda Kenny literally carried you upstairs. Hey, Anthony, what's up? You look at his watch. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? I gave simple fucking instructions. But that's what it was. And this story, like, I don't doubt they probably said, all right, look, Anthony's gone. You got Jimmy, and he's probably like, dude, I can't work with Jimmy. No, Jimmy's the fucking guy. Like, he wanted Jimmy gone. Opie wanted Jimmy gone. Not serious. Get a grip here. He's still fucking there. He's still there. So Opie wanted him gone and probably mentioned to management, look, you know, maybe I should just wipe the slate clean. No Jimmy or anything, just me doing the show. Maybe we could get another comic I've been working with. And they were probably like, look, we'll keep Jimmy here. We'll bring someone in. We'll, who do you got? Who's on your short list? Oh, well, Breuer's a good guy and stuff. All right, we'll reach out to Breuer. And then Breuer's just like, fuck that. Fuck that, Hammer. I ain't working with that douchebag. So he, you know, he wouldn't take the gig. It's $1 million. Get out of here. First of all, they didn't offer him $1 million. It's just Opie wants to seem like more sensational than it was. But he just doesn't, I don't know. He can't be honest for a second with himself, I think. Like I said, I think there's some truth in everything, but he just makes shit up. He literally just concocts shit in his fucking head. And it's so trying to deal with. I fucking don't know how I did it. I did it because of the money. It's the only reason I stayed in that long. I mean, I was enjoying myself. I loved doing a show with Jimmy, and all the guys were cool, you know, hang out, bullshit. But he was just a nightmare to deal with, a psychopathic fucking nightmare. And, you know, over the course of the years, it took its toll. And he obviously sees it one way. And I'm not playing Mr. fucking, you know, Prince Charming over here. I get it. The reason, because I fucking couldn't stand him so much, I'm sure I wasn't able to hide it as well as I could in earlier years, you know? And it started coming out, like my resentment, especially when me and Jimmy started getting a lot closer on the show. And we were the ones doing the majority of the heavy lifting. Opie feeling left out, laying back, Candy Crush, Candy Crush. Me and Jimmy are laughing our fucking balls off. And that's that. And then when he got married and had to appease his in-laws, that was another fucking thing. You know, I know his wife's cool. I met her, beautiful girl, very cool and shit. And you know, I'm not saying anything bad about his family or anything. I'm just saying that he would appease his family on the air, his in-laws. He would stop doing certain bits. He would stop certain conversations because his in-laws, you know, might have been a little uncomfortable with the material. And that's, to me, is just unfucking bearable. You can't do that. Me and Jimmy going off on, you know, the crib death stuff. And then, Candy Crush sounds. Yeah, so that's his latest, and I just gave him more fucking airtime and press than not press, but mentions than he'll get anywhere. And then, of course, again, he'll be like, "You're obsessed with me, obsessed." Here's Opie.
Listen to that! They love me!
Then I peek out. There's me. See Opie now.
I'm sick of people taking bows for my talent. Now do your own dance. I challenge you. Dance if you're not a coward.
This is it.
Hardy har har. If they like that mess, they're starving for some real hoofing.
This is
Oh,
Opie.
kill 'em. Music, maestro, please. E flat from the top.
Take his jacket off.
Ingrate.
That's the Opie and Anthony show. It's just what happens. I don't know. It's crazy. Oh, God, did I love those cartoons. My God, still do.
So I got some inside information that Breuer wasn't scared. He just lived in New Jersey and was kind of getting into religion and didn't want to come into the city every day. And all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scared of the backlash from the the comics? What would the comics have a problem?
Could I guess that maybe whoever replaced you, the comics would get mad at that person for jumping in your seat?
The only reason the comics would get mad is it wasn't them. like that's about it. That would be about it. What the fuck? Like when Voss heard that, a couple of the comics were getting money and he wasn't, or Voss was getting money and some of the other comics weren't, that shit got out. And that's another thing. Such a tight-lipped community, the comedians. Wow. The fucking story of a comic being offered $1 million to take my seat. Oh, yeah, that would never get out of the circle of comedians. It's in a second. Everyone knows about that. Breuer offered $1 million. So what happened? But yeah, he was starting to get a little religious at that point. Take care of his dad. All that stuff, right? I think. Yeah. Anyway, that's the latest in the Greg Opie Hughes saga. Here is Dave. I'll talk to Dave. Dave, what's up? Yellow. Dave?
What's up, Ed?
There you are. What's happening, man?
I know this kind of thinking is my ex-old lady that I'm still stuck living with at the moment is the same way. They take a piece of the truth. Maybe they told him, Jimmy can't be your co-host. So to him, that's true. But he leaves out the rest of the sentence, which would be, because he's going to replace you in mornings and we're sticking you in afternoon.
Yeah, that's pretty much what was going on, right?
Yeah, and then the end was him taking the xylophone from Bugs Bunny and saying, no, play it like this.
No, you dumb bunny, try it again.
That's the perfect analogy, yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love
Take
it, man.
Easy, man.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's a little piece of the truth, and then you make it so you can live with yourself. He'll never realize, like, Sirius just had no respect for the guy. None. No respect. He should have hid from management on a daily basis. But he went in there and sat down and tried to have the mano-a-mano discussions with him and try to get some kind of leverage with the staff through his conversations with management. And all it did was expose to management what a dummy this fuck was. And they just had no respect for him whatsoever. They listened to the show. They knew what was entertaining and what wasn't, what parts of the show people liked. And they knew it was me and Jimmy. Me and Jimmy doing that show on a daily basis. A story would come up, bam, we'd fucking just roll on it, laughing our balls off. And then, all right, Snowy, Michigan. What's up, Snowy? Snowy. And, yeah, Creamy Butters, everyone. Creamy Butters. Ugh. Oh, that guy. Now that's that's who's co-hosting your show? What happened to $1 million fucking Jim Breuer? You go from $1 million Jim Breuer to Creamy Butters? You eat that cock. I bet Creamy Butters has a big fucking red bush. He's got a big red bush around his mouth. And then that other guy, toward the end of the clip, they're like, you got to write the book, Opie. You got to write the book. Because Anthony wrote it and Jim wrote it. And then he goes, out of nowhere, after the guy says Anthony wrote it and Jim wrote one, he goes, I got 200 pages written. I just started laughing. I swear, that's what he did. And I'm like, he doesn't have 2 pages written. Never mind 200 pages fucking written. He don't have a book. He don't have any fucking thing. And then the guy in the middle, the kiss-ass guy in the middle, I don't know who that is. He's like, the story ain't over yet, Opie. Story ain't over. Like, you can't write a book yet. Story's not over. Oh, shut up. What, include you and Creamy Butters in the fucking last chapter? Look at Creamy Butters. Suck that cock. Suck that cock, Creamy Butters.
More inside info,
yeah.
That even once Opie went solo, they tried to get Breuer again, and he declined. So then he got Vic and Carl.
Yeah.
And once he got Vic and Carl, he started blowing off your calls. He wasn't interested in getting back with you.
Yeah, interesting. How's E-Rock doing?
Hopefully as good as Vic and Carl.
Oh, shit. I got an inside scoop. Let's say it's from ER. He says, yeah. Then he got Vic and Carl and Sherrod. He had Sherrod on a lot. And then he was like, we were killing it. It's like, what, the hosts? All right, it's a joke. Stop. I did like Vic and Carl. I didn't think Vic was very funny. But he was a nice enough guy. I know that much. He was a nice
good
guy.
Storyteller.
Yeah. He's a storyteller. He's not one of those guys that could just sit there with some witty repartee during a conversation on air. Mm-hmm. And Carl was just an all-around funny, regular guy. Like, there are those regular guys that are really fucking funny when you talk to him about anything. And that was Carl. He was a good dude, man. Like, he'd have you to the restaurant and set you up and not charge you anything. And, you know, a decent guy. My goodness. And then, then Opie getting fired after that was just, come on. You can't record people in the bathroom. But I didn't get fired. No, I didn't. It's like Rupert Pupkin getting thrown out of the fucking building. No, they escorted me out. I was not thrown out. They showed me out the door. When he does that, and they throw his briefcase. No, and then he sees his friend there and didn't want to look bad, so he's like, okay, thank you. Then he picks up the briefcase. Oh, that was so douchey. No, you're wrong. I was not thrown out.